Well, first of all, to your point, I'd say there are some Meghan Markle fans on X currently saying that they're grateful for the fire because this has been great for Meghan Markle. This has been great for her PR. So that kind of is in line what you're saying. I have another suggestion for you. I have a friend that's on Bravo, very familiar with the production side of reality TV and is on reality TV. And she suggested to me that this was an opportunity for Meghan to go back and edit this show that has been
make it less boring.
yeah, which has been
good luck with that.
Destroyed over the last few weeks, solely based on the trailer. To kick it off for a month and a half, that's plenty of time to reshoot, re-edit anything she needs to try to seem more humble and relatable after, mainstream foodie blogs and food outlets are even turning on her. This is not your typical royal commentator. It's food outlets that are going like, what are you, I don't cook in stilettos. What are you talking about? But I also wanted to point out something my friend Maureen Callahan said. In Meghan's statement, she said, "I'm grateful to my partners at Netflix." Maureen said, "Those are your bosses, Meghan, not your peers. I am thankful to my partners at Netflix. Get over yourself." And then she says, "For supporting me, and delaying the launch as we focus on the needs of those impacted by the wildfires." I love how Maureen said, just thoroughly unnecessary. We don't care what you're doing. It was unnecessary to release that statement. But, I feel strongly that it was Netflix's suggestion that they hold off because Meghan has a pattern, and her pattern is terrible timing. So I feel like this was Netflix's suggestion. Meghan went along with it and then released the statement trying to take credit for it.
I think you could be right there because Netflix will have noted that both the company and Meghan were slammed in the advent of the New Orleans and Las Vegas terrorist attacks. So they would have been sensitive about that. But of course, she's wrapping it up as some kind of great gesture by her. Still on the subject of the gruesome twosome, Meghan and Harry, they've slammed, they've lashed into Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook or Meta, whatever you want to call it these days, and Instagram, because last week he announced that they would get rid of the fact checkers. Fact checkers are always left-wing. They're censors. Fact checkers on social media sites are there to censor right-wing opinions and say they're not true. In line with Donald Trump's approach, Mark Zuckerberg has got rid of all the fact checkers. But Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, being lefties, of course, or pretend lefties, if you like, have lashed into Zuckerberg. They think it's their business, what he does with his company. And he says, this is what they said, that Meta's decision, this is quoting, should deeply concern us all. Contrary to the company's talking points, allowing more abuse and normalising hate speech serves to silence speech and expression, not foster it. It goes on. This is their official statement from the Sussexes. In an already confusing and in many instances intentionally disruptive information environment, Meta has shown their words and commitments have very little meaning or integrity. As they announce these changes, undoubtedly responding to political wins, they once again abandon public safety in favour of profit, chaos and control. That's nonsense, isn't it? Meta's decision, according to the Duke and Duchess, will prioritise, quotes, those using the platforms to spread hate, lies and division at the expense of everyone else. Well, this is a couple of morons who don't understand the function of fact-checkers. Fact-checkers are there to censor right-wing opinions, to say that left-wing opinions are true and wonderful, but don't listen to this because this person's right-wing. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg quite rightly said. He said the trouble is our fact-checkers are politically biased and therefore they're not really fact-checkers, they're censors. So Harry and Meghan, this is all a bit above their heads. They don't really get this. But they're trolling out the classic left-wing line, fact-checkers are good because they keep the right-wingers off social media. who the hell do they think they are again? Well, you know, why are they assailing us with their opinion on this? You know, do they think anybody cares what they think?
I think I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to take up for them here, because I think if Harry and Meghan are the king and queen of anything, it's misinformation. I mean, people know.
Yeah.
Recollections may freaking vary. We get more misinformation from Harry and Meghan than any other member of the British royal family, except maybe Prince Andrew. They're experts in misinformation, to be quite honest with you. They're resentful because, hey, it was a week ago that you and I discussed Meghan Markle's claims that she was working. She returned to Instagram and she was working with Meta about online bullying. Like, she wanted us to think that she had the contacts and she had the power and the sway to get these meetings with Meta, and she was going to have any influence on these mega social media companies whatsoever. And it was you that said, LOL, there's no way.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing Mark Zuckerberg travel to Mar-a-Lago not once but twice to meet with Trump's team, sitting down for hours with Joe Rogan, discussing exactly what you said. Fact checkers are great in theory, but the reality is every individual is biased, and they are choosing to disregard things that are actually factual because they don't like them. I mean, he talked about the Biden administration calling, chastising, yelling at them, having them remove content that Mark Zuckerberg said was legitimately true. And so, you're right. They're completely out of their depth. I mean, Harry on the Aspen Institute board, again, Harry lucked out in the DNA department. You are America's favorite Nepo baby, but the reality is...
Not sure about that.
But happy opposite day. Yeah. But I'm not coming to you unless I need a good pot dealer in Montecito.
I think you're right, though. I think that what they're furious about is that Mark Zuckerberg, you know, obviously pragmatically has come to the conclusion, I better go with the flow here. Donald Trump doesn't like fact checkers. Donald Trump likes freedom of speech. So I'll make my company a haven for unfettered freedom of speech, you know, just like Elon Musk does. So he's gone with the flow, but I think the result is good.
But you also want to be on the right side of history, and it was Facebook that censored Hunter Biden's laptop.
Exactly.
Along with Twitter, he wants to be on the right side of history, and he's seeing how they misbehaved over the last few years. Well,
one last point. We better go in a minute, Kinsey, but Donald Trump won't like this, because one of the reasons they're angry, the gruesome twosome are angry with Mark Zuckerberg, is he's had a lot of meetings with Donald Trump. He's seeing eye to eye with Donald Trump. So they're essentially saying, damn you, Donald, and damn you, Mark. Well, Donald may take a dim view of all this, which might put Harry's visa to live in the United States at some risk. So Harry, idiot that he is playing with fire here, isn't he?
Yeah,
if I can use that pun, I do apologise.
Don't poke the bear is basically what the story is. When it comes to Donald Trump, these two definitely believe that they have more influence and power than they should. You know, it didn't surprise me to see Harry and Meghan walking around with the mayor of Pasadena, having read that email that Prince Harry's team sent to the NYPD threatening them through his relationship with Governor Gavin Newsom. Trump is the end-all be-all. He's more powerful than Gavin. He's more powerful than the mayor of Pasadena, and they're on his bad side. Don't poke the bear.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think Harry is poking the bear, and so is Meghan. There may be trouble ahead, Kinsey, but we will report every step of the way.